I'm Professor Pi. Welcome to my daily mathematical adventures. Hey, don't forget me. I'm Cowboy Rufus. I'm your favorite student. Hi, this here's Cowboy Rufus, and I ain't found Professor Pi yet. I'm not sure he's here. We might need us a substitute teacher. You know what a substitute teacher is, don't you? They come in when Professor Pi is like sick or he's absent, and they become Professor Pi. They can send you to the office just like he can. They can give the work that he wants done. And that's what a substitute is. Hey, I don't think we need a substitute teacher. I think I'm here. I was just in a meeting. Well, let's talk about substitution since Cowboy Rufus has brought it up. We were going to do this in 2 days, but since Cowboy Rufus started talking about substitute teachers, I decided teaching solving by substitution, which is really Unit 3 in this chapter. This is A2 REI. Someone keeps typing L on this. Trust me, it's an I for inequality, REI. And REI, it's REI A1, B3, and A2. I can solve systems of equations by substitution. I can solve systems of linear equations alphabetically, or is that algebraically? Yeah, I'm not teaching English. That's algebraically. That means we're going to use your algebra skills. Notice what's missing down here. I have my video. I'm going to put it up there when we're done with this video. I've got 3 other videos that teach you how to solve by substitution. And what's missing down here is when we talked about graphing last week and the week before, we had a graphing calculator down here. No graphing calculator. We're not going to solve this by graphing. We're going to solve it using your algebra skills. We did a lot of substituting. If I'd been absent, someone would have come in. There's a clipboard on my desk. Certain students in the room know to hand that clipboard to the substitute teacher, show them the roster, the roll, everything they need. I would be replaced. If there is a substitute in this room, I'm gone. There's a new me here. And believe me, they have the power to send you to the office. I always leave a sub message telling them if they have a problem, send you out. They'll handle it in the office. We did substitution when we did graphing. How did we get this minus 13? We substituted minus 2 for x. Everywhere there was an x, we took the x out and we put in a minus 2. And then we did the arithmetic. Minus 2 times 4 is minus 8. Subtract 5 more, we got minus 13. We substituted minus 1 in for x. The x left, we put in a minus 1. Then we went minus 1 times 4 is minus 4, and minus 5 more was negative 9. We put a 0 in for x. We substituted a 0 for x. That's what we did with the t-graphs and the graphing last week. Solving by substitution requires us to get all the x or all the y alone on either side of our equation, and then substitute that new x or y into the equation. When this happens, you don't have 2 equations with 2 unknowns. You have 1 equation with 1 unknown, and you've been working that since pre-algebra, so that won't be a problem. We need 1 equation with all x's in it, or 1 equation with all y's in it. In this chapter, I will always use parentheses to show my new substitution. That is, I'm going to have a new y. The new y might be something like 4x minus 7. If it says y equals minus 4x plus 7, then I would put minus 4x plus 7 in parentheses. If it was a plus 4x plus 7, that's what would go in the parentheses. Let me show you my first example. Hey, we've got these two. We got y's and x's. We have two equations, two unknowns. So this is a simultaneous equation. That is, we're working both of them at the same time. Let me put them side by side so you can see two different equations, but the same x and the same y I have to apply here. Or there's no solution at all. If they're parallel lines, there's no solution at all. Let's take a look at the slope. Hey, that slope is -2. That slope is 3. So we know if the slopes are different, then they cross at one and only one point. Y equals y. Many times in substitution, you're going to need to know that y equals y and x equals x. So this is y. That's my new y in parentheses. What's y equal to here? 3x subtract 4. So on this side, I'm keeping the y that's here. Minus 2x plus 11 goes on the right side. And the other y, I'm going to tell you what y is here. Y was up here. Now I put in a new y. It's in parentheses. Now take a look at our equation. We got an equation. It's not solved yet, but we have an equation, and it has x's. The y's disappear. How the y's disappear? The same way I'm going to disappear the next time there's a substitute here. The substitute will be sitting behind my desk. They will have my authority. They don't look like me. They're the new me. And I'm either sick or out on a golf course, and y'all can spread whatever rumors you want about why I missed school. What are we going to do? We got minus 2x and we got 3x over here. So we're going to add 2x to both sides. That gets us 5x minus 4 equal 11. And y'all all know the opposite of -4 is add 4, and I did it to both sides, just like we've been doing since 5th grade algebra. Now I've got 5 equal 15, 5x equal 15. We're going to divide both sides by 5, and we get x is 3. But we're only half done. I told you what x is, but our solution is going to be a point. I said that two lines will cross at one and only one point. They have different slopes. They must cross at one point. 3 is only half our answer. Now what are we going to do? We're going to go back up to the original equation, and everywhere there's an x, we're going to put in our solution of 3, and then we'll solve for y. So y equals 3 times 3, subtract 4. I took this equation and I took the x out and I put in a 3. And now we do the arithmetic. 3 times 3 is 4. I'm sorry. 3 times 3 is 9. Subtract 4. Trying to get ahead of me. Sometimes that's hard. 3 times 3 is 9. Subtract 4 is 5. So our answer has to be a point. Our answer is 3, 5. And if you want to check that answer, 3, 5 works in both of these equations. We check it in the original equations. Don't check it in the equation you made up, the substitute one, because if you made a mistake there, all you're doing is checking your mistake. 3 times 3 subtract 4 is 5. That one works. 3 times -2, which is -6, subtracted from 11, is 5. That one checks. They both have to check. 3, 5 is the solution for both of those. Here's my second example today. I have 4x minus y equal 1, and I have 5x plus 2y equal 24. Now, in a couple of days, we're going to solve some equations by elimination. We're not there yet. I would solve this by elimination. But since I haven't taught elimination yet, and since we're talking about substitutes for me today, I've got all those substitute teachers back there lined up, ready for me when I'm absent. Do you see any way we can get anything alone? That y could be alone. It's a negative y now, but we can make it positive y. What are we going to do? We're going to solve this equation for y. Then we're going to shove it right in there. We're going to substitute y in the other equation. So let's see what I have down here. Solve the top equation for y all alone. What do? We add y to both sides. Then we get 4x is equal to y plus 1. We all know the opposite of add 1. Subtract 1 both sides. Hey, I have 4x minus 1 equal y, and I told you we would put the new y in parentheses. What's y equal to? It's in my parentheses. Y is equal to 4x, subtract 1. Y is equal, the substitute is, if y is absent from school, we're going to put in 4x minus 1, and that's the same thing as y. So here I'm going to take my new y, 4x minus 1, and I will put it into the second equation. I took out the y in the second equation. It was there, and I'm putting in my parentheses, my new y. Now I have just what I wanted, just what we needed. I have one equation with just x's. The y's have disappeared. Now I have to work that one equation. 5x plus 2, we're going to distribute the 2. We get 5x plus 8x minus 2 equal 24. Yeah, some of you are already ahead of me. 13, 5 and 8 combined like terms, minus 2 equal 24. We're going to add 2 to both sides. And yes, I know many of you are already ahead of me, aren't you? You got x equal 2. What do I have here? X equal 13. I think I skipped a step. Many of you are skipping that step. You're so eager to get down to the bottom that you make a mistake of what you put in the parentheses. X equal 2. So now I got to get rid of that 13 in the parentheses. X is not 13. X is 2. What do we call this? We call this being careful, especially on a test. Check your answers. Be careful. Take your time. There's no prize in my room for finishing the test first. And usually, the first person finished with the test, that grade starts with a 3 or 4. A lot of times, the tests that start with a 9 are the ones that take all their time, check their work, and know what they're doing, and it takes them a while. So let's get rid of that 13, because it's not right. And if we checked it, we'd find out it's not right. 2 is right. Now, here are my 2 original equations. You can put 2 into either one where the x is and do the arithmetic. It's going to be the same answer for both. Does one of these look easier than the other for you to substitute 2 in for x? And you chose this one. All right, we're going to put that in. We're going to go 4 times x, which we know is 2, minus y equal 1. That's 8 minus y equal 1. So let's subtract 8 from both sides. Minus 8 goes there, both sides. Minus 8 goes there. Don't do it, some of my freshmen are doing. They're only doing one side. You got to do both sides. You all know that. This is algebra 2. Hey, now what do I have? I have minus y equal, yeah, it's -7. You're right. -7. So I don't care what minus y is. We didn't ask you to solve for negative y. We asked you to solve for y. So of course you know this now. Y equals 7. Now go back to your parentheses. And we're going to put in the parentheses. Our answer is 2 comma 7. 2 comma 7. Let's check it in the other equation just to make sure we're right. This is going to be 5 times 2 plus 2 times 7 equal 24 is 10 plus 14 equal to 24. Yes, it is. It checks. Now we know the answer is correct. Thanks for watching another Professor Pi video. Yeah, y'all come back tomorrow. Cowboy Rufus and Professor Pi will teach you something new.